Hi, and in this video in the MRDCL Fundamentals series, we're going to look at the topic of whole counts. And you'll find the files that are used in this video in the folder DAT05. So we're going to start, first of all, in this video, looking at what a whole count is and why it's useful. So this is a whole count that's been produced on my file, file2.asc. And what it gives you is a summary of the counts on every code for every location on the data where I've asked the count to be performed. So it will start here, it's starting here at column 1 and running down to the 10th field in the data. And in here, it's telling me for each code how many people gave each answer. So if we look at this one here, for example, we can see one person gave code 1 on the third data location, one person gave code 2, and one gave code 3, whereas on the fourth location, everybody gave code 0. And you'll see the codes across the top here, VX0, 1 to 9. V and X are probably less familiar to most people. They're a code that are used sometimes with binary data. They're used less often these days, and most people just use codes 1 to 9 and 0, but they are actually valid codes that can be used with ASCII data as well. And to the right here, you'll see that we have the counts on each column. So this tells us how many records have got a count of 0, how many have got a count of 1, count of 2, and count of 3 plus. And you can see in this case, every record's got a count of 1 for every field. So that's what a whole count is. You can go down a bit further and you can see that you can have a whole count filtered. So this whole count is based only on the 2 people who said code 1 at column 10 or field 10, and you can also have a whole count that has percentages as well rather than just whole numbers, and indeed you can just suppress the whole numbers if you want to as well. And finally, you can have a variable used as a filter to get your whole count. So let's just look how that's done. It's pretty easy to do, but let's go back to the script now and have a look at that. And you can see now that we've got a fairly short script here. It's opening a data file called file2.asc. You can have a list of files here, so if your data's in 3 files called file2, file3 and file4, you can do that and just separate them by semicolons. Or you can put all your data files in a list, in a text file. So we could have a list called data.txt, and that file data.txt can have a list with one data file per column that can be used to read a series of files, and then your whole count will of course be based on all the files in that list. Alright, so we've got a serial number statement at the top here, the card character set to 50, and then we come to the statement that's actually going to make this whole count come out. It just says count, and then you get the range of columns that you want to count, 1 minus 10, so that will start at 1 and end at 10 as we saw in the example. That can be any field. If you only wanted to count, say, fields 23 to 30, you could just say 23 minus 30, and it will just count those fields for you. Then you put a dot, which you can think as meaning and this is the title for your whole count. It looks a little bit unusual, that syntax. There's not too many other statements that look like that in MRDCL. So the structure is the count statement, a dollar, the fields from and to, a dot, and then the title in single quotes. The next one, we've got a filter on it, you may remember, so that's filtering on people who gave code 1 at field 10, and it's still doing exactly the same count, and the message just says that it's filtered on 10 code 1. Now we've got a format option coming into play, and the RTT is a format option that applies to both tables and whole counts. There are very few format options like that. RTT, when it's applied to tables, it means that you want to calculate percentages based on the top left cell, the total cell of the table, rather than vertical or horizontal percentages. But when it's applied to a whole count, it means just give me percentages based on the total. So that's going to now give me percentages for these next 2 whole counts that I've got. So this is exactly the same as the first one, except it just says my second whole count for the text. And the fourth one that we're doing here has a variable called gender, and then we're filtering on the variable gender and producing a filtered whole count. So that's all pretty easy to do. All we do to run that is that we go to the file, we run it, and our report will come out in the report.txt file. And there it is again, the report that we produced with our 4 hole counts going through the 4 count statements that we had in the STP file. So that completes this short video on how to produce hole counts. They're very useful for checking tables so that you can see what's happened between the raw data, the variable definitions that you may have specified, and the tables you produce. Sometimes you can get figures not quite tying up with the hole counts, and there'll be a reason for that. It might be that you're filtering data out, it might be that you've made a mistake, or it might be that there's some good reason for it why the data isn't appearing exactly as you might expect from the raw data. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you.